Now, there have been some changes to the game recently. As you probably noticed, there are a lot of us playing the game. Or not playing, truth be known. This is because so few are getting out that it's creating a backlog. If we have a major disaster that kills a bunch of us off, say 5 billion, can you imagine what the wait times will be to get back in? The Supreme Authority found it necessary to finally reveal the fast-track tool that has, up till now, been allowed to be held in secret by the folks who don't want to ever leave. To correct this situation, several folks like me have been dragged to some serious clue and given a great tool to make things easier. If you have asked the Supreme Authority to make this your last lifetime, then you probably already know what I'm talking about. It is best to make sure. I was given this tool, not because I am special, or moral, or chosen. I was given the tool only because I asked and expected an answer. Because I was such a reprobate, it is part of my job to share this tool with as many of you as are ready to receive it. The Supreme Authority has already picked a bunch of you out. This tool will help clear out the excess population and make the game more productive and useful. Miracling your butts out of here is not an option, as it violates the divine law. This tool has been around a long time. We know the name of it. We know what it does. We, until now, do not know what it is or how to get it. The tool is called the Holy Grail. What is the Holy Grail? We are told it is a cup or a bloodline. We know it involves kings and royalty. We know it is how you get divine grace and protection. We know it is somehow related to these characters called Jesus Christ and King Arthur. John Boorman did a movie about a sword called Excalibur, where the Grail made a cameo appearance, and Indiana Jones had to jump through a bunch of hoops to get it. The Da Vinci Code was about the bloodline of kings that were said to be direct descendants of Jesus Christ. We know the Grail is hard to find. Those that sit at the top are working hard to keep it from us. The term sovereignty comes up a lot. We have to be worthy, whatever that means. What we get is bits and pieces, and none of this pap contains sufficient truth to help us in any way. That is not an accident. In fact, all this fiction was designed specifically to make it real difficult to discover the secret. I believe the proper euphemisms are a wild goose chase or a snipe hunt. I did not find it because I was looking for it. I was trying to understand real law. Real law, and not this law that men come up with. For instance, man can write a law abolishing gravity. Do you think that law is enforceable? I wanted to know what made law enforceable. I wanted to know how power is expressed without the magical mumbo-jumbo. This was because what I saw in the universe did not make sense to me. I don't think I'm alone in this. I studied the U.S. Constitution and thought it was a good idea. I just did not understand why we weren't using it anymore. In watching a video about the Constitution, the instructor taught me what a real contract actually is and how they were enforced. I will go into that later because it is important. I stumbled on these folks who call themselves sovereigns, but I could not really figure out what the word really meant because the definitions I found were real vague. The Pope was sovereign. Kings and queens were known as sovereigns. There were sovereign countries and gold money called sovereigns. When I stumbled on what it really meant, it was like falling off the edge of the universe. The Holy Grail is divine law that allows a man to be a real king. It allows a woman to be a real queen, or what is known as a sovereign. You have to be ready even to be able to hear and understand this law. If you are watching this, and it is making sense to you, and you are not yet bored out of your skull, then you are ready. If you think it's an accident, luck, or chance that you are watching this, then guess again. The Holy Grail law. To be a sovereign, you have to know what a sovereign man or woman is. You have to know what responsibilities and obligations a sovereign has to himself, others, and most importantly, to the supreme authority. You have to know how sovereignty is granted and what does the granting. You have to know what a sovereign is giving up and will not be able to do. You have to know what a sovereign gets in exchange and what he will be able to do. You have to know the law required to maintain and protect one's sovereignty, and you have to ask, and you have to know who to ask to be granted one's sovereignty. A sovereign is a king or queen, and they answer to no one but the supreme authority, and they are not subject to the will or power of another man, woman, group, idea, or concept. A sovereign takes full responsibility for everything they have done and understands that everything that happened and will happen to them is their fault alone. That's right. No more being a victim. No more blaming your parents. No more blaming society. No more blaming anyone for your problems except your own self. If you got anything from before in this program, you would already know that the self is what generates your life experience. Got it? If you want to blame others for your problems, go right ahead. Things will not get better for you. They will get worse. The supreme authority is ready when you are. But in case you haven't been keeping up with the news, it's almost World War III o'clock, and they'll probably be turning the internet off soon, so you might want to suck it up. You might be doing the whole running for your life thing real soon. One thing for sure, you won't have any but Jesus in you, 'cause it'll all be scared out of you. In salesman speak, that is creating a need and a sense of urgency. There are some things a sovereign cannot do when they get the Holy Grail, and you need to know what you're giving up, and be willing to give it up before you get the prize. A sovereign is not allowed to create a victim of himself, others, and the supreme authority. A sovereign cannot worship false gods. If you are religious, then you're probably worshiping a false god. They rigged it that way on purpose, so you can't ever figure it out. You have to split the program to see clearly. That, by itself, guarantees that most of you will stop watching right now and begin preparing yourself for all the suffering that's coming. They promised you that, and they are going to deliver. Think you're one of the 144,000? If you think that, I have a life of slavery to sell you, and I'll throw in some maiming, raping, disease, and torture for free. A sovereign cannot create a victim through a lie, even accidentally, or in ignorance. They speak the truth, unless they are joking, and you will know when they are joking. No murdering, no stealing. I will let you figure out which of the others are actually enforced. I love this game. I really love this game. Roage.